What's going on, Reality Hackers? What's going on? It is Michael here from Reality Hacker, and I'm excited to bring this whiteboard out today and talk to you again about the secret hack of certainty. Today we're going to be talking about how to create significant levels of certainty around the states of consciousness that contain contents that you'd like to see expand into the world around you. Does that sound fair enough? We're going to get into how to bring yourself to a place where you're empty of doubt and you're full, not just of belief, but of conviction. And this is where we want to be. This is really where we want to be. Okay? So, if you haven't, make sure to like, subscribe, do your thing, comment, feedback. We're here for it. We're getting down on it. If you need a new meditation app, if you need some new buddies to work with, check out the Source app in the description. If you need some new ebooks, check out our free ebook in the description. And if you want to go on the deepest journey you've ever gone on, check out the I Am Experience, which is also in the description. So today, we're going to get into the secret hack of certainty. And I'm really excited about this one because we're discussing some perspectives that are really going to change your worldview. What I find about transformational teaching is not that it comes to us and, explodes inside of us, but rather it changes our perception over time. Because if you've been on this path for a while, you'll know that, at least in my experience, right, the way something happens is, it's unconscious. Then I become slightly aware of it, lightly aware of it, right, of what's going on, how this pattern is unfolding inside of me. And then ultimately I begin to see how that pattern takes shape in my life, right? When it comes to creating certainty around desires, what we really want to do here is we want to go back to the place before belief, right? We want to go to the spot where belief is not even a concept, right? This is your true self. This is Source. This is God. This is all of the potential from which this entire universe comes into being from, right? That's where we want to go before we begin taking this on. So the first point here that we get into when it comes to the secret hack of certainty, okay? Ultimately, you have to understand that desire is not yours. Why is it not yours? Because you're not real, right? And if you can take that and run with it and not allow it to drive you into some sort of handicapped psychological delusion, that can be one of the most amazing things that you can begin to understand, right? I think that Neville says multiple times in The Power of Awareness, Feeling is the Secret, Thinking Fourth Dimensionally, Out of This World, he says that desire is a word of God, right? And he uses that from a dualistic, materialistic sense to help us really understand, conceptualize what it is, right? If you look in the Bible, if you look in ancient scriptures, when you hear the concept of a word from God or word from Allah or any sort of word, from a higher being, so to speak, there is a sense of ineffability taken with it, right? There's this objectivity. There's this, wow, this thing was said and I'm just here. I'm going to obey. I'm going to listen. I'm going to, take heed, whatever, right? Imagine if we took that same kind of perspective when it came to desire, right? What if we looked at desire as something that wasn't ours, but something that was mine, right? Something that was born from the same slothy soup that the rest of this physical universe comes into being from. It's not really slothy, right? I'm using that metaphorically. So what if I was to look at my desire as something that wasn't mine, right? Comes into my head and I make the assumption that it's mine, but even that assumption is false. Because ultimately, when I look at imagination and I look at myself being all imagination, I find that the identity of Michael is not objectively real, right? In other words, it is as objective as the desire. It really is. There is no objectivity to this identity. So when I explore that and I get to a place where desire is no longer something that's mine, but something that is, you can phrase it in a lot of different ways to help yourself kind of integrate this here, right? I look at it as something that's not mine, but it's something that's mine, right? Not mine, but mine. And what would happen if you treated your desire as a word from God? What would happen if you treated your desire as an inevitability, right? Well, It came from the source that I am. Why wouldn't I have it? What if we begin to rationalize this way? And I don't know why I always do this. What if we begin to rationalize this way about our desires, understanding that it's not ours? What happens when it actually occurs inside of us? We say, okay, wow, this desire is amazing. Came from God, came from source, whatever. It's mine. It's mine. It wouldn't be there if it wasn't meant to come to pass. And if you've noticed before, there's probably times when you've had a really amazing thought / desire / piece of inspiration that maybe you don't act on. I've noticed this multiple times in my life where I get that inspiration, I get a really awesome thought, and I don't act on it. I don't do anything with it. And sometimes, just because I'm not taking action with it, it might come through somebody else because the desire is not mine. This is a really amazing concept to get down. Ultimately, point number 2 here, right? I hope you can read my writing. If you can't, it's totally okay. What we have to understand is that when a desire enters your awareness, it's already done, right? When a desire enters your awareness, it's already not just done, but it's, I guess you can say it's begun, right? Like, desire coming into your awareness is not some signal that a desire wants to form. Having a desire is a signal that it has begun forming. And this is why what we do in our body, the moment we get a desire, right? The moment a desire comes upon us, as Neville says. This is why what we do then can be one of the most powerful things in effect to living in the wish fulfilled, stepping across bridges of incidents, and walking into the realization of our desire. Because ultimately, desire entering awareness means that form has already been taken. It's already conditioned consciousness, right? If it's not mine, it's going to be somebody else's because I'm not real, right? So my job here is to understand A, the desire is not mine, and B, that when desire enters awareness, by the merit of entering your awareness, it has already begun unfolding. And your job there is ultimately to accept it, right? And that ultimately leads us into our third point here. Ultimately, since it's not your desire and it's already on its way to expression, you don't need to do anything but allow and accept it, right? And when I accept a desire, what am I doing? I am accepting that something is mine, a concept, a feeling. Because here's the thing too, right? When we go back to the bigger picture of desire, when you think about anything that you truly want, it's more about the feeling that you think you're going to experience when you experience that thing. It's never about the thing. It's always about the feeling that you're going to experience. So by accepting it, what you're literally saying is, it's mine. And I'm not putting time limits on it. I'm not putting constraints on it. I'm not conditioning it any more than it's already conditioned. And this is a really important piece here, right? So what happens when I understand that a desire is not mine, okay? When I understand that as it has entered awareness, it's already begun its expression. And ultimately, since it's not mine, and by the merit of it entering awareness, it's already began its expression, and my only job is to accept and allow it. From there, if I can take these, which is technically 3, but kind of 4 points, right? If I can take these and I can literally get myself to a place where I understand them, not intellectually, but experientially, right? In the heart and the soul, what will happen there is, in relation to any desire, is a complete, absolute certainty. Not because of some arrogant, egotistical perspective that you're carrying, but ultimately because you understand that you are your body, the body that you are wearing is simply a conduit for the massive consciousness that you are, that literally all things come from, to interface with the world. And desire is simply essence of consciousness entering into that interface. And you, as consciousness experiencing self subjectively, have the opportunity to take that essence and ultimately support its journey into the expression of our 3 and 4 dimensional space-time. And so what happens here is your three quests here are A, to understand and continue to dive in. And there's so many lectures on this channel. If you need to find more, I'll add them in the cards and the descriptions. You need to understand that you're not a human experiencing divinity. You are divinity experiencing a human. This is honestly the most fundamental point in all of existence, especially as it relates to manifestation. And if I don't understand this, it's going to be very hard. Because when I know that I'm divinity experiencing fragmentation, I'm not looking at the things around me as objective to myself. What I'm actually doing is looking at the things around me as interconnected aspects of myself. Wow, what happens there? All of a sudden, I see the ebb and flow, right? I see the ebb and flow that allows me to take this process and be easier with it, because you've experienced it, right? The force, the sense of force, the need for control comes from the idea that I am an individual. When I no longer accept that I'm an individual, but I am the totality of the universe experiencing itself through the lens of an individual, through a seeming individual, all of a sudden, my entire worldview changes. Everything switches its position because I've changed my position. This is exactly why Neville says, don't go to people. Don't go to the mirror. Go to your closet where nobody can see you, not even yourself, and shift your own concepts there. So much so that when you come out, the world will reflect deeply. So if you want to hack certainty in your desire, the recap, right? Understand that desire is not yours. It comes from source, okay? 2, that when a desire enters your awareness, it has already begun its expression. And 3, since it's not your desire and it already is on its way to expression, you don't need to do anything but allow and accept it. How amazing is this? I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And I hope you do too. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, do your thing. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let's engage. Let's dialogue. That's what we're here for. I love engaging with you. I don't know how many more times I'm going to say that. You're amazing. You're lovely. You're worthy. You're awesome. You're adequate. And if you don't listen to anything else that I say, listen to that. You are so powerful. You are the totality of the universe experiencing itself subjectively. And that's just what's up. If you need free ebooks, meditations, hypnosises, go to the description, man. Check our channel. We're here providing resources for you. We love you. We're on your team. We'll talk to you soon.